What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
I think it would be fun to run a newspaper. I think it would be fun to run a newspaper.
The lady who put the BS in BSN. It's Carolyn Sheridan from the Ag Health and Safety Alliance. Time once again to see what we can do to help our family farmers.
Always love having Carolyn Sheridan come on the program and chat with us. And of course, I believe I'm speaking. Good morning. I believe I'm speaking for both of us when I say Happy Father's Day. I believe, and I don't know the stats, but a lot of farmers are dads. I think there's a correlation there, so I think we can do that. And then you picked the perfect topics today, because when we talk pesticides and personal protective equipment, or as we say in the business, a PAPI. That's how you...
Yeah, PPE. Yes, that's right.
No, that PAPPE.
Oh, okay.
PAPI.
Oh, we have a new acronym.
Yes, that last week was personal
protective. Last week, you certainly should go back and listen, because it was quite entertaining.
It's stuck in people's heads, I'm sure. So anyway, we're going to talk about PAPI in a minute, but
Papa's PPE. Is that where you go with it?
PAPPE. PAPI.
Okay. All right.
Pesticides and personal.
I can go with that one.
Yeah. We're trying to make things so people can remember them, but we want to talk a little bit about Father's Day. It's coming up on Sunday. Keep that in mind, ladies and kids. What happens in the Sheridan household when it comes to Father's Day?
Our kids are very, very good. They visit, they bring presents, we grill. They do a great job. They really do.
They just wing in on Sunday, then they all come down, take care of it.
Yeah,
really. That's what you got this weekend.
Yep, I think that's what we're doing this weekend. But they don't. Sometimes they tell me, and sometimes they're like, "Hey, we're going to show up. We'll be there." Yeah. Or they.
Well, then how is that nice for you? What is that? That's not good for you, because all of a sudden, let's just say you haven't dusted in a couple days. Well, then the house looks like a mess, or you didn't do the dishes. You got to know if people are just showing the heck up. Are you going to prep the whole house in case?
It's my kids. They'll be okay. It'll be okay.
Really?
Yeah, really. Yeah.
I will throw this out.
We won't go out or anything. We grill or stay home. Yeah, that stuff. Yeah.
My oldest called couple 3 weeks ago and said, "Hey, I'd like to come down for Father's Day. You want to golf?"
Yeah.
I like that. I said, "Sure, you bet." And about 3 days later, what we're talking timing, what time I got to get a tee time, and he goes, "Well, we're thinking of coming down Friday. Maybe we'll golf Saturday and Sunday." And I'm like,
"Oh, the whole weekend." Yeah.
Yeah. And he's bringing his wife. Fine, got it. And do you mind if we bring the dog? What are you going to do with the dog? So now my life goes from I was going to golf Sunday, Father's Day with my kid, to I have to entertain Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. Must have a meal plan for Friday, Saturday morning, lunch, dinner, Sunday.
I feel I'm hearing something in your voice that's not quite what you wanted to do.
Here would be an option, and I throw it out there.
Okay.
You say the kids come down to see you. If my son had called and said, "Hey, Dad, I want to do a golfing weekend. Me and my wife, we're going to do golfing weekend." Love that idea. Why don't you come up? Bring Mom on Friday. We'll take care of everything. Wouldn't that? You see? Now, I'm not making the meals. I'm not worried what's for breakfast, what time we got to get it and take it. It's like, I'm showing up. Let me know what to do. I brought my clubs. Do you see the difference in them? And maybe that's really shallow. But
Al, I think you could maybe give a hints and tips for children.
You know what it is I'm willing to speak the truth. Most dads hear me say that, say, "Go, Al, go," in the back of their head, but they'll never say it out loud. Because I believe if the mothers and the children even thought through it for a minute, they'd know that I was correct. Dad will love it if we come down for the weekend and spend all our time with him, which is fine, and he can take care of us.
Well, that's that one. My kids live close, so it's more like a couple-hour thing or go. Yeah, we're fine. We're all good.
When you say a couple of things, what?
Yeah,
am I wrong?
But I no, you're not wrong, Al. I think I understand. I get it, Al. But I'm still going to wish you Happy Father's Day.
Well, thank you. I'll be golfing. I'm thrilled with that. It's all the other time that I'll be entertaining and having to take care of stuff.
Don't be so entertaining.
Oh, well, I say entertaining. They learned at least one thing my kids have learned, and the daughter-in-law, as she comes along, is I don't mess around. 9 o'clock on a Saturday is like an 8:30 on a weekday for me. It's time to start getting ready to wind her down. I'm heading home. Yeah, because I'll start, hey, let's watch a movie. Hey, you want to play a game? Hey, you want to? I look at my watch and, are you kidding me? I'm going to bed in 10 minutes. Really? Like, yeah, okay, you do what you do. But I am not staying up like flipping New Year's Eve just so I can entertain.
You know, Al, I'm just shocked that this is the first time I realized you say what you think. In 4 years.
I do not like sarcasm on you, Carolyn. I don't like it at all. It does not look good on you.
Because you use sarcasm on me. You know,
it's different. Evidently, I do it well. I don't know. It doesn't look good on you.
It well.
There could be something to that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, there could be that. Anyway, so
all right.
Go ahead.
So last week we talked about PP. PP, Personal Protective Equipment. That's PP. It's the acronym for PP. Now today it's pesticides and personal protective equipment, which we're calling PAPI, which is fine.
We are now calling it that. That's right.
Well, no one's going to take this time to say pesticides and personal protection equipment. You're going to say PAPI. That's what people.
Well, we're going to say something. Sometimes I use some of the words and sayings that Al comes up with when I go out and teach. You know, the next generation.
They're going to love that in college. That's college. You're going to love that.
I'm afraid they are. It's like who put the BS in and the BSN
BSN.
or something in the B, whatever that thing might be. I don't know.
You got to take a call?
No,
I'm sorry. Are we in the middle of something?
No, I should just like shut.
Do you do that at dinner? Do you do that at the dinner table as well? You're just sitting there chatting and then all of a sudden pick up your phone and look? You try not to. You just did it. We're doing radio here.
I wanted to mute it because I didn't need to like have that my phone annoying ringing. But anyway, so those sorts of things, you come up with some pretty fun things, and like food and entertainment director, stuff like that. So I think the PP might stick.
The PP will stick. The PP will stick, and I think PAPI will stick as well. PAPI.
I think PAPI might stick, but. The reason we're having these two topics for last week and this week is because we developed a couple new resources, which they're up on our website, and we have an illustrator that we really like.
Are we still coming up with resources in the farming industry? I love that. That's great. You're on the cutting edge. Resources, resources.
Well, because frankly, they're just plain boring. A lot of resources are boring.
You like saying personal protection equipment instead of PP? You are correct.
Yeah, and besides that, they don't have really fun pictures, and they have a lot of words, all the things. So it's a comic book style illustration. And we looked at the one last week. It was about laundering pee-pee. See, you got me saying it. Pee-pee. I can't believe
it's catching on.
People who listen, people who are in my business or whatever, I may never be asked to speak again. Al, how many slots do you have available?
Oh, we'll fill it up here. Don't worry, I'll take your time.
This will be my only gig. Only gig.
Pesticides and personal protection equipment. What, now we got to protect the pesticides, or how does the pesticides get into this conversation? I'm missing something. We do not have time to talk about it right now, but we will on the other side of we have to take breaks. You've been doing this long enough to know
what is the deal with breaks and sponsors?
Yeah. That's what those are sponsors.
We'll be right back with PAPI.
Pappy. That's going to catch on. Pappy. Right after this.
Dust from livestock buildings can be harmful to your animals and to you. Coughing animals can lead to costly vet visits and other serious health problems. Now there's an environmentally safe solution for your dust problems. It's called Dust Lock. Dust Lock can control the dust all summer long with just one application. Protect your animals and your health with Dust Lock. Learn more at dustlock.com.
Achieving your financial goals requires individual planning and a comprehensive approach. At Midwest Money Management, our mission is to provide you with the knowledge, tools, and confidence to feel comfortable financially today and secure about tomorrow. Learn more at MidwestMoneyManagement.com. That's MidwestMoneyManagement.com.
Securities offered through JW Cole Financial Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through JW Cole Advisors Inc., Midwest Money Management, and JW Cole Financial Inc. and JW Cole Advisors Inc. are unaffiliated entities.
The Al Travis Show, the last place you can go and hear all sides. Respectful, thoughtful, and grateful.
And we've got our Carolyn Sheridan's Ag Health and Safety Alliance. We're talking, of course, about pesticides and personal protection equipment, or as we lovingly call, PAPI. If you say it with an uplifting voice, I think that we're going to talk PAPI.
But you have to, it's PAPI because it has to do with the father. Papa, Pa.
Well, just P-A-P-P-E. Just spell it out. It says PAPI.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. All right. But before we get too far.
It isn't that complicated. It didn't come anything big. I just the first letter in every word in the name.
They're called accurate. Anyway, so before we get too far down our rabbit hole that
which we have yet to even start. Go ahead.
I know. We have these resources on our website. You just go to our website. There's a click on the button that says resources, and then it just takes you to topics. And so there's a pesticide topic. And so these two will be there, plus others. We've got some motion graphics. But the reason we created this one, and you're right, you said, oh my God, another resource, was to make it simple. Really, we're trying really hard because you start looking at some of the resources.
That. Well, that's what's nice about Ag Health and Safety Alliance. You guys do the stuff the rest won't do. They're all boring humans, and you're willing to do this. I like it.
Right. So may I have permission to share my screen because that helps us out. We kind of try to help us stay on task.
You know, for those that are listening on the radio, it's like, yeah, go ahead and share your screen. What's that going to do?
Well, but you know what? We are on Zoom, and some people can watch.
You can get it on the Al Travis Show Facebook page, or you can watch it on the Al Travis Show. What is that? YouTube. Double click under the full screen. There you go.
That's right. There we go. So all we want people to know about pesticides is figure out, is your risk low, moderate, intermediate, or high, and just follow along. There's some basic tips. You see them, Al. You know, you just say, if I don't.
Well, how do you know? Let's see. If your risk is low, how do I know my risk? Because I'll tell you what, if I'm on the farm and using pesticides, I'm going with the high guy. You just want to be better safe than sorry. You know what I'm saying?
No, you don't.
Unless it's hot. You don't?
No, you don't. Because when people get annoyed, then they don't wear anything at all. So we say don't.
Naked farming is what you're saying? Because the first guy's got clothes.
An idea. What do you think I was going to say, Al?
I have no idea about that.
Okay. All right. So if you look on the left side, it just read the label. The label will tell you there's a thing called a precautionary statement. We've had a couple good shows about that. It'll let you know if it's low.
We have not had a couple of good shows. I'm going to argue that. You're going to have to put them up.
We're going to have to try harder to have a good show.
I like the third guy. He looks like one of the caddies for the what is it? The Masters in the all white uni. I like that one a lot. That's a good look.
Well, because of people like you mentioned earlier are sometimes just listening. If you're low risk, there's a guy just standing there with his shoes and his long pants and long sleeve shirt and a hat, right? That's every day. That's like your risk is low. You're walking around, you're doing nothing, you're farming, boom, you just wear that. Right.
Yeah.
Or there's some pesticides people use that really are very so low risk. Don't put all that stuff on.
All right.
And then you've got moderate, where you're going to put gloves, goggles, and that's it. So
she didn't have a hat on. The hat thing bothers me because I believe in the summertime you should always wear a hat. The sun can do damage. Well, thank you. That's the only thing I would say. Because for whatever reason, once you got to moderate, and high, the hat came off. Now, it doesn't have to be that Crocodile Dundee hat, but a hat would be nice.
Yeah, not a fedora. Something that actually covers your ears in the back.
Okay, not everything said on this show is with Al. You can wear a fedora at any time. It looks good.
Sure. Okay, we also have to be realistic. There's a whole segment of the population that don't wear hats. That's entirely we can recommend it. Also, if you're working with pesticides and you start putting on a lot of this gear, then people get hot and then we worry about heat-related illness. So we do say, that's why we're saying don't go to the person at the very end. Sometimes you need to wear the high level of risk. And we give examples at the bottom, but that's got a coverall and it's got goggles and a full face respirator. It's got boots. This person's going to be hot.
Yeah, let me ask you this, because I don't know the answer to this. If I'm going to go to the pharmacy and I got to pick up Sudafed for my allergies, I have to sign stuff. I got to get stuff. Right. I mean, they don't just hand that out. If you're in the intermediate or high pesticide area environment, can any farmer just go pick that stuff up? This guy on the high level, He looks like he was working at the Wuhan lab or something. I mean, this guy is all...
Wuhan. Okay, so those are called restricted use. And typically, a lot of the restricted use will need to have more personal protective equipment. The guy clear on the right, in our, you guys, people listening on the radio, really hop on our website, and I'll post this too on Al's little radio show thing. Not little radio show.
Thank you very much for being condescending. Thank
that
you.
was terrible.
But my point is, can farmers get that stuff that they need that
can,
kind of stuff?
But you have to take a pesticide course, and those are offered by Extension in Minnesota, Iowa, all of the states. And you take a course, and then you re-up it every couple of years, and then you can go buy restricted use chemicals. And those are the ones that typically need more personal protective equipment.
And out of curiosity, when you get to that high, are you killing like large animals going through the farm? What? My God! What are we using on? What are we using on the cornworm? Oh my God!
Yeah, well, it can be cornworm products. There's some things that kill weeds. Some things that kill like they're called nematodes on soybeans. So it depends on what you're. But we're not killing large animals. We're not. Yeah.
Well, it seems with what that guy's wearing to be scared to death. I mean, that's nuclear fusion stuff.
Well,
but good. It's nice to have the options. You should know what you're doing, because if you didn't know that and you were in the high risk category and you're down there with a gal with her rubber gloves and a hat on, dead man walking.
Right. And the other thing, when I teach courses, it's very common that people assume that we're going to have to wear all of the gear. You're going to have to wear an apron, you have coveralls, you're going to have to be all of this stuff. And then just they get annoyed by it. And I'm like, no, stop doing that. Really, just look at the label. Don't just look for application rate. Look, because it tells you very clearly. It's like reading a recipe, basically. You don't just throw stuff in the bowl, right?
Well, I don't, and I don't use pesticides either. I'm living a clean life. Right. We've got to go. I've got to fly. Where can they find this? Where can we find this?
Okay, this is on our website, and it's under resources, and it's very simple. Resources, click by topic, and then go right to pesticides.
And the ad. Go ahead.
Go.
AgHealthAndSafetyAlliance.com. You got to give the actual address. AgHealthAndSafetyAlliance.com. Carolyn, we're out of time. I got to fly. We'll do it again next week.
Father's Day. You enjoy yourself and don't be crabby.
For the whole weekend. Let's just make it a whole weekend.
Well, maybe you'll get a hole in one. Maybe you'll have such a fabulous.
That would make it. That would be okay. Here we go.
Chanhassen Dinner Theaters brings you its most popular show of all time, Grease. You'll